joining me at Becoming Memories. This video is all about paper organization. And as you can see, if you've watched my scrap room tour, you've already seen kind of what is in this enormous yellow cabinet. But down here at the bottom is my paper organization. All of my paper, there's a little bit overflow over in this other cabinet, but most of it is right here. And I kind of got lucky, and I got this cabinet that had these dividers that were originally for old vinyl records. And so those were close to the size of scrapbook paper, and so it fits perfectly. So I'm going to move the camera here in a second, and I'm going to show you exactly how I organize and what little plastic sleeves I am using, and how I keep track of the embellishments that I have with each collection, and also how I keep track of all of my scraps. Before I do that, one little note here, I do have all of this in alphabetical order by manufacturer, okay? Might be a little over the top, but you know. Paper pads on this side, collections and loose paper on this side, and then my cardstock is the overflow that is over in this other cabinet, along with the W's, because I ran out of space here to go alphabetically, somewhere around P. So I know that some of you probably have less paper than I do, and some of you probably have more paper than I do, but this system will work regardless. Okay, so let's dig in. I'll show you everything I use and how I keep it all organized. All right, so here we are. I came to the overhead camera so that you could see a little bit better what I'm doing. So these are the folders that I use, or the envelopes that I use, and this is the one that I use for all of my 12 by 12 paper. And I got these off of Amazon. I will link them in the comments below. Sorry, I know this packaging is super noisy. This is, they come in groups of 100 for about $20. And I have actually used a full 100, I think, and now this is my second package. And then this size I use, this is a 6 3/4 by 9 1/2, and this is what I use for my stamps. I don't really have very many stamps, but I use this for my stamps, and then I just write the manufacturer and the stamp name, sorry, down there. And then these just go in a little bin from IKEA. So these came in 50, and I believe it was like $9. I will link these in the comments as well. And I'm going to show you here how I do this in a minute. And then these little guys came from Hobby Lobby from the jewelry section. And I use these a ton. I use the heck out of these. I use them for my ribbon storage. I use them for embellishments. I put packs of die cuts in here once I kind of get some of the, like once the die cut packs have been used, they go in these. And then, so that's that. Okay, I'll show you that in a second. And then I also have these, which are just regular letter size ones from Walmart. And I use these as well. Okay, so here's what I do. Here's the 12 by 12. Okay, and this is obviously the Blast Off collection from My Mind's Eye. And I'm going to do this one, organize this one right here with you all. So I tend to scrap by collection. I do like to mix up my collections, but what has happened and what was happening in the past is that I would be scrapbooking something and making a layout, and then I'd get to the end of the layout and realize that I had an embellishment pack or a sticker sheet that went with that collection that I didn't even pull out because I didn't realize I had it. And because I'm storing my paper in these little pockets and all vertical, I don't like to store bulky embellishments in there with it. So here's what I do. Turn this Post-it note upside down so the sticky is up, okay? And then I write on here what I have. So I have 12 by 6 stickers, puffy stickers, and I usually don't even worry about my handwriting because nobody sees this but me. 12 by 12 chipboard. I also have the ephemera pack and the enamel dots. Okay, so now I can put these embellishments on my pegboard or in my embellishment area, which I like because sometimes when I'm looking for a specific sticker, like I'll never think of going into the collection in the cabinet and finding it. But then when I pull out this paper, I also want to remember that I have all of these embellishments. So these will go now with my other embellishments of similar type, and this paper will go in this sleeve. Now this is kind of just my little thing, but I really like to flip through and find some of my favorite papers, or what I feel like is kind of a signature paper of the collection. So like maybe this striped one and maybe this astronaut. This collection has holographic. Ooh, let's go with that one. And I make sure that I put these front and back in the folder. That way when I'm pulling out collections, and by the way, I was playing with black mist and mist last night. That's what's on my hands. It hasn't all come off. So when I'm pulling out a collection then to see what I have and what I want to use, my favorite sides, my favorite parts of the collection are the first thing that I see, and that really kind of increases the likelihood that I'm going to pull something out and use it. So just a little side note. Okay, and then I will take that Post-it note that I just put somewhere. Here it is. And remember I said sticky side up, and that's because I'm going to stick this in here and then adhere the Post-it note to the inside of the plastic. Now, sticky notes, Post-it notes are not acid free. And the adhesive, though, is really the main potential threat to paper, and that is why I stick the adhesive to the plastic and not to the paper. And that way, if it gets hot or the adhesive starts to come off or whatever, it's less risky to the paper. Okay, so that's that. Now, what about scraps in a collection that I have used? So this collection here, I actually have a couple of embellishment packs. And I still need to do the sticky note for this. Okay, but here is that 8.5 by 11 sleeve that I showed you. These are just the cheapy ones from Walmart. Okay, and then I have some bigger pieces here that I've used. A lot of times I'll just cut out one thing if I want to do that without like using the whole, or removing the whole sheet. But I've used this one for 2 or 3 layouts, but there's still obviously a lot left. So what I'm gonna do is take this 8.5 by 11 pocket, and generally speaking, if a scrap is too big to fit in here, I just stick it in like this one, just kind of in between the pages. So I'm going to take this pocket on this page right here, and I'm going to grab some washi. Now, I store my paper pads upright, and so I always make sure that the sealed edge of the little page protector is down, so that when I pick up the paper pad, all of my scraps don't come just sliding right out. And I just put that right on there, and then we're good to go. And that's how I keep all of my scraps with the collection without them like being all over the place and falling out. This can go in here. And then I use one of those little bitty sleeves that I showed you if I have little fancy die cut pieces. Like let's say, for example, if I had taken this sheet, sometimes I'll just sit and watch TV and I'll fussy cut or whatever. If I had fussy cut all of this out, then I would have taken one of those little sleeves and put the little fussy cut pieces in, and then attach that right onto the top of this, and that way like the little leaves and stuff didn't get damaged. So I use the same system for my 6x6 pads with, this one doesn't have one yet, so let me just stick one in here and I'll show you real quick. These little guys, most of my 6x6 scraps will fit in here, and so I'll just take this with the opening up at the top, because again I store my 6x6 pads upright, And I'll just tape this right in there. And I have a scrap drawer and it has like 4 pieces of paper in it. I very rarely put something in my scrap drawer anymore because I prefer this. I prefer this system. And so if I were to cut this apart, I would put them in here. And this really helps me like want to use it more, because I feel like if I take something out and use a part of it, it can stay with the collection, and the next time I go, that the rest of that favorite paper is still available. So I hope that makes sense. I hope it was helpful to you. Thanks for watching, and I will see you later.